Hello, welcome to the video. Today, Elena and I are going book shopping.
New year, new books.
It is raining, and I feel like every time we do one of these videos, it is pouring down rain and looks miserable outside. But I think there's something to that. I think it's like those are the days that we know we need to just like go cozy up in a bookstore and spend some money.
So true. I think we did this same video the same time last year.
I think it's a tradition now. It's just the best time. The beginning of the year, we're like excited about so many books. It's such a good time to have a good haul.
So many new releases are coming out in January. Like it's time to get us a fresh stack of books.
Is there anything specific you're trying to get today? I have like a very long list.
I've got a hell of a long list.
Do you?
Yeah, I just finished my 2025 reading journal, and I included a spread with 25 priority reads for 2025.
Oh, and you're trying to actually prioritize them.
Yes, look at me. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for those books.
Yeah, that's great.
What about you?
Well, I actually am going to be back at Barnes in like 3 days to pick up Onyx Storm.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess I'm just going to be here all week. I've actually never physically gone in on a release day to buy a book, especially one this
Me neither.
hyped.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what to expect. So I thought, let's just go ahead and get the book shopping out of the way on a separate day. And then on Tuesday, it will just be like one goal.
Yeah, are you going to try to come like super early?
I don't think I can. I've got a life.
Yeah, right.
I will say, like, every time you pre-order a book, it never shows up on that day. And then you just have to watch everybody else, like, reading it. And feel so annoyed because you tried to do it. You know? Does it sell out in stores? Like, is there a line?
I have no idea. I guess we'll find out.
Please let me know if it is actually not a big deal and there's going to be plenty of books available for me. I have been really into physical books lately. I felt like last year I started doing a lot of ebooks, a lot of reading on my phone.
Same.
And I really want to get back into physical books.
And Barnes & Nobles is doing 50% off hardbacks right now, aren't they?
Yes. And even though you and I are like usually paperback girlies, I mean, for half off.
For half off, I can be whatever kind of reading girly you want me to be.
Amen to that. So yeah, let's go see what they've got.
All right. Yeah, it's on my 25 and 2025.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm going to get it.
Nice. I'm just going to borrow your copy.
Great.
I read this last year thinking it was sci-fi, but it's more straight up dystopian. Pretty good, though. 50% off ain't bad either.
You look so cute today.
Thanks. How's the baby bump looking?
Bumping. Are you getting that?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been wanting to do some of his books, so
I need a new, like, epic fantasy, you know, like serious, scary dragon fantasy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pretty. The spine art is gorgeous. Really caught my eye.
Yeah.
But then the cover, I don't know, kind of meh. Kind of looks like a lot of other things right now. And then this tagline, his curse, her fate. That just makes me think I've read this book before.
I'm into this.
They really are gorgeous. Such an upgrade.
I was like not super into A Fate Inked in Blood, but I still really want to read this. And like these covers are so pretty.
Yeah, there's something special.
Okay, I'm gonna at least pick up the Bridge Kingdom.
Sounds good. This is happening.
Found your books.
Nice. Let's go.
Look at these.
Yes.
Although,
I just picked this up.
did you?
Yes, but it's a different color.
I know, I was about to say,
Cover.
it doesn't have the, yeah. Okay, all finished. Yeah. It's no longer raining.
True, it's just overcast, which is fine.
Okay.
It's the next day and the sun is finally out.
And we have gathered together all of the books that we have bought, and it's quite a haul.
Yeah, we got some good stacks all around us.
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay, I'm going to start us off with For She Is Wrath by Emily Varga.
Digging that cover.
Right? I mean, yeah, girl.
Yeah.
This is also going to satisfy my book bingo board for the prompt sword on the cover.
I don't know why that's so funny.
This book is a Pakistani retelling of The Count of Monte Cristo. Our main character, Dania, I don't know. Maybe I should listen to the audiobook and find out how to say her name.
I have a few of these in this as
Yeah,
well.
there's going to be a lot of that, I bet. Anyway, she is wrongfully imprisoned for a crime she didn't commit. She was framed by several powerful people, including the boy that she thought she loved, or at least had the hots for or something.
Is this YA?
Yes, it is YA.
Okay. You said boy, and I was like, okay.
The boy, yeah. He could be a man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's just say that
All
they're in their
men
20s.
are boys.
She's been plotting her escape when another prisoner named Noor, like door with an N, he accidentally burrows into her cell. And he has some knowledge about secret magic stuff that's going to help her escape. So she teams up with him. And then she accidentally releases a powerful djinn.
Cool.
Nope, she doesn't release a powerful djinn. Nope.
Not at all?
It's a djinn treasure.
Like a magical artifact?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I have to read it. There's actually a different book in this haul where a character releases a powerful djinn. So I'm getting mixed up. But it's a djinn treasure. And this was a nominee last year in the Goodreads Choice Awards in the YA fantasy category.
Okay. I'd never heard of that, actually. I didn't pay any attention to the YA books in the Goodreads.
I normally don't.
Yeah. Okay, and first on my list is Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. This just came out a week ago, and I'm really excited about it. At the end of last year, I read A Song to Drown Rivers and then Welcome to the Hyunamdong Bookshop. So I thought it was only fair that I now travel to Japan, where this book is based. This is a fantasy-esque novel centering around a mystical pawn shop in Tokyo where visitors can sell their regrets and mistakes. I went on a little bit of a tangent in my head about all the mistakes that I would love to sell, many of which have happened quite recently. It says, she wakes up on her first morning as the pawn shop's new owner to find that her father is missing.
Oh my God.
And then into the shop stumbles a charming stranger that offers to help her.
Sounds like a scam.
It does. It kind of sounds trippy, to be honest. It's a cozy fantasy with a mystery center, which I'm into.
Okay, that sounds great. This is on my 25 to read in 2025 as well, so
You can borrow it.
I will.
Yeah.
I've also heard that the dust jacket, somewhere includes instructions for how to fold it into one of these paper
Origami.
Yeah, origami.
Okay, it's right here. Yeah, actually, that is really cool.
Isn't that cute?
Anyway, we'll see what this is all about.
Yeah. Okay, this has been on my radar for quite some time. I'm Afraid You've Got Dragons by Peter S. Beagle.
You've read The Unicorn, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And to be honest, the last unicorn is kind of weird. So I'm hoping that this will also be a little weird, but it sounds like it has a different vibe in my opinion. It's supposed to be very funny and a clever twist on the classic fantasy fairy tale, sort of like The Princess Bride.
Okay.
Our main character, who has a long, complicated name but goes by Robert, has inherited his dad's job as dragon exterminator. The only problem is He likes dragons, and who can blame him? I mean, I wouldn't want to exterminate them either. But when the king offers him a job clearing the castle of dragons, he accepts because he has to support his mom and his siblings. You know, gotta be pragmatic. While he's working this job at the castle, he runs into the Princess Cerise, who he was like childhood friends with, but she doesn't remember him very well because she's super distracted by this hunky prince.
Relatable.
But I guess the prince has something to prove, so the three of them end up teaming up on some kind of wild dragon-related scheme. That's all I know.
Okay. I'm like wondering how many dragons are possibly in this castle that he needs like a full-time exterminator.
Right? How are they all getting in?
Yeah. I'm like, how are you killing them?
Your castle must not be very secure.
No. Okay, my next pick is The Stardust Grill by Yume Kitase. I have been super into heist books. I just finished the Six of Crows duology at the end of last year and loved it. And I think this kind of follows that format. It's tagged as an antisocial colonial space heist to save an alien civilization.
Hell yeah. That sounds great.
I know. So this follows Maya, who is a retired art thief. She sounds like she was kind of like a Robin Hood. She would steal artifacts that had been stolen and give them back to the planets from which they originally came. But she's hung up her stealing cap and decided to become a humble grad student.
Wow. Career change.
I know. But she's unfortunately plagued by these really disturbing images of the future. Then an old friend brings her a job that she can't refuse, like a heist.
Yes, one last job.
Yeah, I love this. I also just read Amina El-Sarafi, and it's giving the exact same vibe, and I loved that book. So Maya is thrown back into the world of adventure as she searches for this powerful artifact that will essentially save an alien civilization. But she's not the only one that's hunting this mystical artifact, and the closer she gets to finding out its mysteries, she realizes in order to save this alien civilization, she might actually doom Earth in the process.
Oh, no.
So I am really excited about this one.
Yeah, you just sold me.
I know.
I feel like we're going to end up swapping all these books.
Yeah, I'm really excited about like all the ones that I bought.
Yeah, this is a good haul. All right, and this is also on my 25 to read in 2025. We have the first volume of The Murder Bot Diaries, which is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I have heard so much about this series. Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the most recommended sci-fi series that I feel like we've gotten.
It comes
from
up over and
in
over.
real life, and yeah, it comes up over and over.
Oh yeah, some of our viewers have recommended this to
Yeah.
me in the comments.
Yeah.
Which thank you. I feel like this is right up my alley. So these books are about Murderbot, a robot who was designed to protect humans, but he hacks into his own system and becomes self-aware. He's very scornful of humans, which I get it, you know. He just wants to be left alone, and he wants nothing to do with humans. But he keeps getting drawn into conflict anyway, despite his best efforts. I've heard these books are super funny in a cynical way.
Yeah.
Which really appeals to me. And I think the short length of the first few makes it a really accessible series to get into.
So next kind of on my list is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. We've just come to the realization that Elena also has bought the entire City of Brass series. I have read this now. I just finished it a couple weeks ago, and I bought this copy for Elena because I loved it. It was so fascinating. It's about a pirate named Amina Al-Sarafi. She is in her 40s. She has a daughter who's like 10 or 12, something like that. She, like I mentioned earlier, has hung up all of her pirating days and is just trying to chill with her daughter. But unfortunately, she gets a rude guest to come into her house and force her to go on this quest to find a missing granddaughter, and it just throws her back into the pirating days, which Amina finds that she actually still loves and misses.
Yeah, you gotta love pirate days, right?
There's a lot of like very relatable motherhood feelings in this book, you know.
That's awesome. That
Wanting
sounds
to
so
stay
unique.
with your kid, but also loving what you do and feeling more
Sort of torn
yourself
between
when
those.
you're and Amina is just like So hilarious. I really think Elena will like this. It takes an especially like fantasy-esque turn halfway, which I think that you'll really appreciate. So I just went ahead and bought a copy for her and maybe for myself just to have because I really enjoyed this one.
It's nice to have a physical copy when you read something you really loved.
It does have a lot of like Muslim ideology as well in here, and it's really fascinating, and it's written as kind of like a documentary. Ooh. I would also highly recommend the audiobook if you can like do a little tandem read.
Yeah, I think I will do a little tandem read.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And so I will quickly discuss City of Brass, which I picked up the entire series of. I didn't even realize that this was also written by Shannon Chakraborty. They say S.A. Chakraborty on them.
Oh.
Which was
it was a while ago. Enough. Yeah.
And yeah, in my mind, these came out quite a while ago, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't put 2 and 2 together until this moment, but I'm excited I have these now.
Me too.
And these books are about our main character, Nari, who is a young con artist in 18th century Cairo, who accidentally summons a djinn.
Oh, this makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, a powerful djinn. I feel like all of my Clockwork Angel P. Jelly Clark days have just made me, when I see the word djinn, I'm like, yes, I'm going to like that book. Nari did not used to believe in magic, but I guess after you summon a powerful djinn, it's kind of like, oh,
forced upon you.
Yeah, you kind of had to believe in it then. She gets whisked away into this magical world and discovers the lost city of Davabad. Tell me in the comments how to say that, because that's the name of the series too. It is a city made entirely out of brass, if you can believe that.
That is cool. I didn't realize it was that literal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a city of brass. I've heard there's a lot of political scheming and intrigue. There's like a secret lineage situation. The magic system is supposed to be excellent, which is something that always catches my attention. And yeah, I was sort of just craving like a classic YA fantasy trilogy, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I went ahead and picked up all 3, which is always
a little risky.
Yeah.
Those are chunky books too.
Yeah, they're not
City
tiny.
of Brass is like, yeah. But yeah, I bet it's good. Amina was good. So.
I have a good feeling about it, yeah.
Okay, next I picked up A Curious Beginning by Deanna Rayborn. This is the first in the Veronica Speedwell series, which has been on my radar for so long. It's even been recommended by several of you. Yeah, it just sounds like something I would actually really enjoy. It's set in Victorian London, and Veronica Speedwell, which, by the way, I didn't realize there's like a plant called Speedwell, but also called Veronica, like in real life.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, if you Google it, you get very confused like I did.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I don't know if that's like pointed or what, but she's a natural historian and like a butterfly hunter. Tell me in the comments. I was trying to figure this out. Does she study butterflies? Does she hunt them? Like, what's her thing with butterflies? I don't get it.
Yeah, like, is she killing them?
I don't know. Anyway, Veronica is a natural historian, a butterfly whatever, and she's pumped because her last living relative has just passed away, so she can ditch London and go adventuring around the world to hang out with the butterflies.
Nice.
Except, unfortunately, somebody tries to kill her instead. And it sounds like she's saved by this mysterious baron who says that he has like all these secrets from her past and can essentially explain what's going on. Except then he winds up dead.
Oh my God.
So her and her new BFF, this reclusive man named Stoker, end up going on this journey to figure out why somebody's after her, try to figure out the secrets that the Baron was unable to tell her. And yeah, it just sounds like a cool little mystery in Victorian England. And there's like 1 million of these, and everybody loves them.
Yeah, this sounds right up your alley.
Right? So I'm really excited to finally dive into this.
Okay, my next pickup was The Will of the Many by James Islington. Look at this chonker. I'm trying to decide if I like this cover. I don't know. I think it's actually a little plain. I've already read this, but I wanted to have a physical copy on hand because book 2 comes out this year. I will be reading it. And I feel like I may need to refer back to the first book at times because there was a lot going on in this one. This book is set in a pyramid scheme society. So the people on the bottom tier of the pyramid have to give up their quote unquote will. This is like, this is a figurative will, like your will to live kind of thing. You're not giving up your will to live.
So to say, then did they all die?
They don't die, but you're like
kind of just like
and
moving through the motions.
Yeah, like dull-minded and things like that. And they give it up to somebody in the tier above them. And those people give up half of what they've collected to the tier above them. It's an MLM.
Okay.
You know, but instead of leggings, it's your will. Our main character, Vis, is a former prince whose kingdom was conquered by the pyramid scheme kingdom. He doesn't want to give up his will, obviously, and he does not want to take anybody else's will. He's a little bit of a golden boy, you know. Okay. He's very special. He's very smart. He's very strong. I'm saying it like it's annoying, but it's actually something I loved about the book. Okay. I really like an overpowered main character. Yeah. He's got a little bit of plot armor at times. And that did keep me from giving this 5 stars, but I gave it 4.5.
Yeah, I thought you were into it.
I'm really into it.
4.5 is really good.
Yeah. It just wasn't perfect, but I'm wondering if book 2 is going to get me there, you know?
Yeah.
It also had an absolutely bonkers twist ending. Like the biggest cliffhanger I think I've ever come across.
He's actually at the top of the pyramid scheme and started the whole thing.
No, he's the king of the leggings. So book 2, I'm going to have to read it like as soon as it comes out.
Next, I picked up this ginormous book, The Bright Sword, by Lev Grossman. This was half off at Barnes & Noble yesterday. I did not realize how big it is. Like, it is a weight. This is a King Arthur retelling, and we are patiently awaiting the 3rd in the Legendborn series. And I thought this might be like a nice little tide over until then. Big tide over.
Yeah, no kidding.
The main character, Colum, is on his way to Camelot to try to become a knight of the Round Table. And unfortunately, when he arrives, he's told that King Arthur died in battle 2 weeks prior.
2 weeks? Oh, he was so close.
Yeah, and like most of the knights were also killed.
Sounds like there's some openings.
So him and basically this ragtag crew of like misfit knights and other civil servants are forced to band together to essentially save Camelot. Now that King Arthur has died, things are in disarray. There are gods and fairies. Everybody's coming out of the woodwork to try to take over Camelot. So Colum has to find Excalibur and save Camelot and try to figure out what actually happened to King Arthur.
Love it.
It sounds so good, doesn't it?
Yes, it absolutely does.
I'm into it, so I'm excited.
Okay, next I have The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. So this book is about a boy who has lived his whole life in a library. I believe he's trapped. And a girl that works for the library. It's a giant library. It is eternal, magical, and infinite. And it warps the progress of civilization around itself. Not a chill library. So the plot revolves around those two characters unraveling the mysteries of this library and how it affects the world around it. I love a book about books, you know?
You do.
Or libraries, kind of same thing. And I've heard that Mark Lawrence's prose is very whimsical, and that is something that appeals to me. I've heard the pacing is very good. There are themes of censorship, knowledge that is gained without wisdom, and the cyclical nature of history. I've heard really good things about this. I'm sort of like trying not to find out too much going into it. I think I will have a better experience if I'm a little bit blind.
Did you know you have a couple grays?
Bitch. Okay, also have Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, who is an auto-buy author for me. I am just obsessed with her work. She has written so many things. My favorite is her YA fantasy series, Akata Witch, but she also has a lot of excellent sci-fi works. Her Binti short stories are freaking amazing, and I think this is going to follow in those footsteps. This book is about a struggling author who writes a new type of sci-fi novel, and the novel begins to warp reality.
Whoa.
You know when your writing is so good that it literally changes reality? That's apparently what's going on here.
I just want to say that this book is actually beautiful. I love these edges.
Yeah, it's definitely eye-catching. And look at the, yeah.
So pretty.
Yep. Just came out a week ago.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. What?
Oh, what? We just discovered something.
Creepy.
Ooh. Okay, yeah. I can't wait to read this.
At Barnes & Noble, I also picked up Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. This is actually like the little mass market type book. Paperback, which I love. We both love.
Yeah.
So I was really excited when I saw this. You guys know how I feel about Brandon Sanderson. I've read Mistborn Era 1, thought it was genius, but I do struggle a little bit with his pacing. So Elena suggested that I read this standalone as my next Sanderson adventure. Although I will say, Elena, when I was looking up reviews of this book, several people said that it was very slow in its pacing.
This one is not slow.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to now explain what this book is about, and Lena's going to tell me if it's correct. This is the story of two sisters whose names are Ciri and what?
Vivenna.
Vivenna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They are princesses of the kingdom of Idris, and the king of Idris decides to give Vivenna to the god king in hopes that it will ensure peace between Idris and some other kingdom.
Right.
Because they've been on the brink of war for forever.
Yep.
But at the last second, the king has a change of heart and decides not to send Vivenna and sends her sister Ciri instead.
Yep.
Which is pretty harsh.
Messed up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Is it like he just prefers Vivenna? Or is that...
I don't want to say.
Okay. Anyway. Sounds like these two sisters are main characters. The God King is another main character. And then randomly there is also two other main characters. A reluctant god of bravery and a mysterious swordsman and a sentient sword, which sounds pretty badass. I'm excited about that.
I'm like in my feelings just hearing those words because I'm just like, oh my God. The sentient sword is one of my top favorite characters in the whole Cosmere.
Okay, that really caught me. I was like, this sounds cool. So I'm ready. I don't like this cover.
That's fair.
I'm confused by it.
It's a little dated.
Yeah, I'm ready to give this a try.
Next up, I have Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. This is kind of the wild card on my list. I put it in my 25 in 2025. I wanted some variety to the list. As much as I would love to read nothing but fantasy and sci-fi all year, I do want to mix it up a little, you know? And I've heard really good things about this historical fiction work. The main character is Tan. She is from an upper middle class family, and she becomes a doctor that mainly works on women, or maybe exclusively works on women. And for her to even be a doctor in this time is like super scandalous and a big deal, you know? Themes are friendship, leadership, and breaking free of tradition. And this is apparently based on a true story, which I thought was cool.
I love that. Yeah.
And next we have These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This was a viewer recommendation. I will say the cover doesn't do much for me.
It's giving romantasy covers that we've complained about.
Yes, it really is. But, you know, let's see what's on the inside, right?
Yeah.
It's a duology, and it's apparently a Romeo and Juliet retelling set in Shanghai in the 1920s.
So is it a fantasy novel? Or is it just like a retelling historical fiction type?
It's a historical fiction with a smidge of fantasy.
Okay.
I believe.
I feel like I should know, but I don't.
Yeah, I feel like
it everywhere.
Chloe Gong normally writes straight up fantasy, doesn't she?
I think so.
Like Immortal Longings and stuff. This one I think is leaning more on the historical fiction side, and I'm always into a Shakespearean retelling.
Yeah, for sure. Although Romeo and Juliet's pretty done, but okay.
I mean, yeah. The opening line is, "In glittering Shanghai, a monster awakes."
Love it.
Great, right?
Yeah. And lastly, I picked up the first in the Bridge Kingdom series by Danielle Jensen. These are the new covers. Absolutely stunning. I've actually been in Barnes several times, and they've never had the first in the series, and I've been wanting to pick these up because I love the new covers so much, especially because if you remember, the old covers were pretty bad.
Yeah, I actually have this on audiobook. I've had it for like a year, and I haven't listened to it because the old cover is not
so
good.
bad. I know this has been recommended to me so many times, but the cover was just like making me second guess it. Although I will say, when I started looking at what it's about, it does kind of fall into the romantasy formula that we have discussed multiple times here. In fact, I'm pretty sure the main character, Laura, some call her a warrior princess. Others have said that she might be an assassin.
No.
So I'm not sure. I'll let you know. But essentially, this follows Laura. She is a warrior/assassin princess, and she is forced to marry the enemy king to ostensibly broker peace, but really she's supposed to infiltrate this enemy kingdom, the Bridge Kingdom, and destroy them. Of course, she falls in love with the enemy king, and then she has to decide which kingdom she wants to
align with.
Enemies to lovers, forced proximity, forced marriage, all that stuff.
The thing is, it can work. It can be really good and fun.
And I've heard this is good, but it doesn't exactly sound like it's breaking the mold, so we'll see.
We keep trying. All right, I picked this up also for the cover. It is called A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin, and I mean, it's gorgeous. I can tell you that.
We saw this cover at Barnes & Noble, but she'd already bought this.
Right.
And this cover is prettier than the one we saw.
The Barnes & Noble exclusive one is also pretty. It's like gold, but I'm just more into this colorful. It's just so eye-catching. I think it'll stand out on your shelf,
the
know?
Pinks, yeah.
Yeah. It's about a young woman named Ning who enters a dangerous tea-making competition.
Cool.
To try to save her sister's life.
Love it.
Oh, she accidentally poisoned her sister with the tea.
So she's trying to save her sister from her own mistake.
Yeah. Okay.
Even more relatable.
That's so real. She must be the younger sister. The tea brewing is some kind of magic system. There is a dangerous competition tournament element here, political intrigue. Sounds good. Can't wait to read it.
I want to read that one now, and I'm shocked because that would not have been on my
Caught
bingo
your
card.
radar.
Yeah.
And last but not least, The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne.
We've been discussing John Gwynne. We needed to dive in. Here we are.
You're interested in Malice, right?
I'm interested in Malice, although this is intriguing to me.
I didn't look up like where you should start with John Gwynne.
To be honest, I haven't either.
So maybe if you know, you can tell us in the comments if I should start with something else. But I love dragons, and I just couldn't resist this freaking cool looking dragon. I mean, yes. Look at that scale. Like, oh my God. So I'm wanting to read a gritty epic fantasy this year and really get into something a little more dark. So this series seemed to tick all of those boxes. It's a dark Norse-inspired world where all of the gods have fallen, but there are people called the Tainted who I guess have inherited like a shadow of the gods' powers. The plot of the first book follows 3 different characters and their journeys. We have a former noblewoman, or maybe current noblewoman, who is seeking glory as a member of a war band who hunts down the Tainted. The Tainted is not my favorite.
I've made fun of you in the past for the way you say tainted. I don't think I've said it to your face, actually.
Oh my God.
Or how, like, when you're trying to say the tainted cup, and, like, I think you get scared every time you say it that you're
word.
Gonna, like, say, not, like, clarify it enough. I don't want to, like, get into that.
And we also have a huntress who is seeking revenge for the murder of her husband, and her son was kidnapped, too. Same incident. So she's, like, looking for the son, wants revenge for the husband. She sounds pretty badass. And we have a former thrall who is seeking vengeance for the death of his sister. And he also joins a war band. So we've got lots of war bands, lots of revenge. I've heard the fight scenes are super cinematic in these, which I'm excited for. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to give this series a go.
Great. Is that all we have? Is that all? That's like way too many books.
Is that it? What are we going to read?
So let us know which one we should each be starting with if you've read any of these.
Thanks for coming with us on our little shop with me.
Yeah.
Leave a comment down below and let us know what you've been picking up recently.
Please subscribe if you have not already. And until our next video, we will see you later.
See you soon.